Today we're going to be talking about self-promotion speedrun. If you're watching this video when it comes out, I'm live on Twitch right now, so come check me out. I'm probably tired, but I'd love to hang out. Anyways, back to the video. Huh. That was weird. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about Geo. Hey, check that out. We're finally going to talk about the original cast. And this is actually the first character I ever played in Stripe until I made a terrible mistake, walked down a dark hallway and ended up in England.
Nightmares still haunt me to this day.
If you like annoying ass pressure, if you like going fast, and if you like having some of the most down bad mods in the entire game, like, is this shit really necessary, guys? Then let me explain to you why you should play Giovanna in Guilty Gear Strive. Giovanna is a completely new character to be introduced into the world of Guilty Gear, with a backstory and lore consisting of... Wait, hold on, just give me a sec, and... oh. Entirely fuck all. But to be perfectly honest, that's probably a good thing. There's already enough complicated as fuck lore in these games to give Hidetaka Miyazaki an aneurysm, so it's nice not to have to think about that for a bit. All we really know about Geo is that she's Brazilian, which I can see that. Considering the fact that the other most famous Brazilian fighting game characters are Ricardo, Milos, and a Tumblr Sonic OC, it's nice to see my favorite circle of hell catching a W from time to time. In a game centered around its offense and damage, Geo is the premier rushdown character. Fuck all that zoning and ranged play shit, Geo has only one goal, and that is putting her foot in your mouth and sending your jaw into the upper atmosphere. And she does this primarily through movement. Now, I don't usually talk about movement in this game because I suck at it, but on Geo it is absolutely necessary. If you couldn't quite tell, our girl here is thicker than a bowl of Nikocado oatmeal, but this comes at a price as she is built like a little teapot, short and stout. The majority of Geo's normals are so short it could be mistaken for my attention span, especially when compared to the rest of the cast, but what she lacks in range she makes up for a complete disregard on the laws of physics. I've always hated that Newton guy. Why did he invent gravity? Geo's step dash lets her treat the ground like she's walking on an ice rink covered in lube, letting her use her dash momentum to carry her attacks across the screen. What attacks can she carry across the screen? All of them. Yes, even specials, so have fun blocking this left-right overhead mix because you got knocked down one time. And as for the most recent patch, she can adjust how far she goes with her dash, so have fun getting kicked in the face from nearly full screen with almost no warning. She also has the power to go fucking Super Saiyan depending on how much meter she has. Whenever Geo has over 50 meter, the Geo Doggo will begin to glow, something I legitimately didn't notice until I put on a mod because he goes from green to a slightly brighter green. It is noticeable, however, when you hit 100 meter and Geo decides to take a dip in the nuclear bath as well, which is definitely a design decision that the devs could make. God, I love my gamer color GF. When she's in her Mountain Dew mode, she does more damage and takes less damage, eventually making her as tanky as Sergeant Grippy Cheeks over here. Once she's like this, all her normals also do chip damage, basically turning her into a speedy plus unblock Nogoryuki, because having one character with normals that do a fuck ton of chip wasn't enough already. Now that we've officially told all of physics to go fuck itself, let's finally get into Geo's kit so we can see the wonderful method she'll use to put you 6 feet under with. Giovanna here graduated from the Sanji school of beating ass, using almost exclusively kicks to tenderize your internal organs with. I'm not kidding, if not for 6P, you could seriously take your P button and toss it into the river, cause it's all about them feet, baby. 5K and 2K, these buttons are pretty good, go pretty far for Geo. 2K hits low, you know the vibes. Close slash is a fast knee to the testiculus majoricus, it's plus and it's your median tick throw button, get used to using this a lot. Far Slash sees Geo equip her blue hair and pronouns and do her best Vegito cosplay. She lets out 3 kicks that are impossible to not confirm, and 2S is more of the same but low this time, and only 2 hits. That shit's crazy. Heavy Slash is just 5K if it listened to My Chemical Romance. Little slower, little hurtier, and disjointed for some reason. She also has her sweep, but at this range is less of a broom and more of a fucking vacuum. Use this when you can't think of anything else. One last thing to mention about her normal moves is her grab. On its own, it's pretty basic, but due to her aforementioned lubricated jet set radio skates, she can grab you from close slash even if you use FD. So yeah, have fun with that. Now time for the specials. Geo does a kick and swings her uranium German shepherd named Ray. Quaza. This move does everything. Hard knockdowns, juggles, frame traps, makes pancakes. If you don't know what to do this. She's also got a spiral arrow. Nobody told Capcom. Its plus goes almost full screen and goes through projectiles, so use this when Kai mains decide they'd rather be browsing Twitter. Be careful though, as it's almost hard not to 6P this thing from full screen. 623S is the not quite a DP that has a faster startup than her 6P. Told you don't need the P button. It's pretty unsafe on block, but if it hits them in the air, it's pretty hard not to combo this as long as you don't suck. Yeah, I suck. Finally, we have the aforementioned left-right overhead. This move used to be plus, because why the fuck not, I guess, but somebody took the crack off the balanced team's desk and they decided to nerf it. And then they immediately shoved their heads into a bag of Adderall and decided to buff Zato for some reason. I'm sure that'll have no negative consequences whatsoever. This flip kick can be manipulated manually to hit on either side and also has a small vacuum effect, so don't be afraid to use it after an air-to-air. Finally, we have the supers. For her first super, she has the spinning bird oh, come on! This move is up there with Kyle Cumstain's Ride the Lithium for how far it'll break the wall from. It also does so much fucking damage that more often than not it's better to just go immediately into the super after 2 hits instead of finishing the combo, so be prepared to go straight into this from almost any random hit. She also has access to the Doggy Dive, a move that seems more like a fuck you to the player base as most of us thought her playstyle was going to be something like this. Anyway, this super is a dive kick good for baiting anti-airs, is plus more often than it isn't, and also graduate from the Ginyu school of reusing assets. The only issue with this is the dive direction is kinda funny, so be prepared to whiff this a lot starting out. But since this move, landing recovery, is lower than my IQ, don't be afraid to press buttons immediately after this. Giovanna is a pretty solid character all around, and she's pretty unanimously considered to be high or even top tier by people who are a lot better than me. But like every character in this game, she is not without flaws. Ever since the most recent patch, all of Gio's specials can be 6P'd because someone at Arxis got dumped by a thick Latina girl. Not gonna lie bro, I'd be salty too. This makes one of her central game plans, hitting you with wild frame traps, that much more difficult as Kyle mains get to roll their face on 6P even more than they usually do and get away with it. Another thing that is a little bit of a detriment to her is actually just how honest she is in this game without meter. Until she hits that sweet 50% tension, she's a Street Fighter character in an anime fighting game, and although she has really strong tools, when faced against shit like this, you'll often find she simply has to work harder to make things work than some other characters in the roster. Not that she can't get shit done, just something to think about for your viewing pleasure. At the end of the day, if you like crazy movement and fast buttons and don't mind having to play the game with a raging stiffy, then Giovanna may be for you. Or not, I'm not your dad or anything like that. But seriously though, I'm gonna need y'all mod creators to chill the fuck out.